It says you're unstable. Is this true?
We're unstable. Yeah.
Unstable. Pretty unstable.
It says it on the screen.
Okay.
It says, unfortunately, your call might be unstable.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There's too much juice and action going on.
It's just because of who's in it.
Pretty much. Is that coming up all right? Yeah, it's coming up. Right, we are going, I believe.
We're going.
I'll be the judge of that.
I'm immediately on my phone. I need my notes.
Your notes?
My God, Marie, that was quick. Good evening. Hello.
Stream.
He's already here.
Yeah, I should probably boot it up here. Hold on.
Here we are live on the facebook.com.
We are live. Hello.
Your Facebook.
Trickle in.
Trickle in.
Trickle in.
It makes sense.
To turn my mic down. No, that's not the mic. I need to turn my mic down.
Who's Mike?
There you go. Right.
Yeah, who's Mike? What does this mean?
Where's one
Mike Blake? When's he joining?
I think Cathedral City have changed their cheese recipe.
Have they? That is actually a proper disaster, by the way, because that's great cheese.
What's this? It says our mature cheddar. I don't know about that one.
It's 2023, bro.
Flavor, surely.
It's just milk, isn't it?
Soviet cheese.
It's just dry milk, idiot.
It's milk and bugs. Or something.
Milk and bugs.
Yeah, isn't it? You get like the cheese mites. They make the cheese from the milk.
Yeah, maybe.
No, they're called mice. Mice make the cheese.
Gary's never been on the stream, has he?
Who?
Yeah. He won't leave me alone since we got back from download in Turkey. My little puppy. No one's met my puppy. But he will not leave me
Can I
alone.
see the puppy, please?
Yeah,
bring him up.
That's quite important, actually.
Here we go.
Bet
I'd quite like to see that.
Come on then. Come on then.
What kind of mammal do you have? Oh, what a geezer.
He's a good boy.
What's his name?
Keanu.
Keanu, that is awesome. That's very
good boy
beautiful.
energy.
How old is he?
Good boy energy.
7 months.
He's very beautiful. He's very lovely.
He's a credit to him and his people.
Yeah.
Absolutely vital.
Jeez. Cool. Right. I think we've got a few people come in. So good evening, everyone. Hope we're all well. Talon's taking the lead on this one a bit more so today because I've been away burning my skin in warmer countries. So I'd like to say tanning, but
no, we don't do that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't do that.
I actually, you know what? I do. I think if I stayed in the sun long enough, my skin would average out with enough freckles that I'd look like I have a tan.
Yeah, like they might fill in. This is what I was saying the other day because obviously we're the same. So yeah, I was like, I feel like my freckles are getting bigger, but I'm not tanning, so they're just gonna eventually fill.
You shall become the freckle.
Yeah, I was saying if it's like one giant freckle, is that a tan?
I suppose it is. Yeah.
The sun's
Yeah. See.
Cool. But on that note, we're going to segue into our guest we have on. Why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Harry. I run Hammerdown Festival, a rock and metal festival down on the south coast of England, just outside of Brighton. I had a town called Worthing. That's on the 29th and 30th of July. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it. It's nice to put some faces to names. Good. You've got a far better beard than in your WhatsApp picture, by the way, mate.
Yeah, well, I've got no beard in the WhatsApp picture.
Exactly, right. So
it's a very old picture.
Which is why it's
beardless Callum, the rarest of all the regional one top trump cards.
Yeah. It's also incidentally one of the weaker top trump cards, but
yeah, beardless.
It's certainly not a shiny card, is it? It's not a.
You got a shiny Gen 1 first edition beardless Callum. Should we do this? Should we make fucking like regional
Blue Eyes Pokemon Callum?
I've been looking at those. You can get those sort of fake Pokemon cards made because it always gets advertised for your pets. But I wonder how far they'll go.
This.
Yeah, how far of a rabbit hole? Well, he's like my pet.
You can probably send off anything on those things. Yeah, I'm sure you could send off literally anything on that.
There's got to be something on Etsy, right? Like on Etsy's people making custom shit.
Yeah, I reckon you could get away with some shit. Because, like, if you remember, do you remember the PewDiePie thing where he was like doing Fiverr and he got those guys to like write stuff they shouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how far could it go with these Pokemon cards, man?
They'll do anything. They'll do anything.
They'll do anything.
For the right price.
For a price.
Yeah, man. So Hammerdown Festival.
Yes.
Tell us about Hammerdown Festival, man. How long you been doing that?
I started it when I was like 17, so like a decade ago now.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, we like I wanted to do that for years. The goal was to create like as good a festival as we possibly could down on the south coast, because there wasn't really a lot going on down there. You know, there's Mammoth Fest in Brighton, which is where I'm from. That thing was cool. You know, it was huge. But aside from that, you know, a lot of festivals started dropping off at the time when I got into that industry. Like Takedown had its last one in 20, I can't remember what year it was, but they stopped doing it. And no, there wasn't really, there was a big gap for like rock and metal festivals, and I went to my first download and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever been to. And I thought I want to do this myself, and I saw some of the bands playing there and I went, I want to book these guys. And then 3 months later in October we had our first one up and running. So that was at like a village hall in the middle of nowhere, in a little village called Danehill in Sussex. Yeah, it was the first year was pretty shambolic, to be honest with you. Like it was. You know, we had the really a funny thing. I was just basically an 18-year-old that was just bullied by loads of parents. Right, I'll tell you why. Because there was this local club called Rock School that basically kids would like play rock, you know, bands in rehearsal studios, and then they'd get put on a couple of gigs a year and whatever. And I agreed to like let loads of the bands play for like a 2-hour kind of chunk of the day. And then all of these parents started turning up and saying that they'd got free tickets because their kids were playing in the thing. And I was on the door like, oh, okay, come in. And I was young and I was like, okay, adults are telling me they're going to come in, so I've kind of got to let them. So I lost loads of money doing it. It was a bit of a shambles. And then, yeah, we ran it for like 4 years pre-COVID. And then, basically we did the last one in 2018. And then we took like a year out to kind of regroup and rebuild the festival from scratch, because I just lost so much money doing it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just like a kid running a festival, you know. And then obviously when the pandemic happened, so that meant we were out for 2020, 2021. The climate wasn't quite right for us to come back yet, so that's when we pushed it back to 2022. And last year was our first year back. It was sick. It was awesome. So cool. It was definitely the most successful we've had. It was the first one we did over 2 days as well. So I kind of went all out last year, and now it's back again. Now it's back for 2023, which is exciting.
Fantastic, man. Yeah.
Hopefully you can hear me right, by the way.
No, we got you.
Audio's
even
fine.
though you're in there. Which pub is it you are streaming to us from? Which pub?
I am from the.
No, don't give his location out.
Everyone sent drinks to his table.
Please. I'm in a pub in Wales somewhere. It's called the Owain something I can't pronounce.
Oh, no, yeah.
Reasonable. There's some in there.
Yeah, there's about 8 of them, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where I am. I moved. I moved to Wales like a year and a half ago. I don't really know where I am most of the time. But it's very nice here. Both people are nice.
I can't pronounce where I am, but I'm having a good time.
I'm having a lovely time. I'm having a lovely time not being able to pronounce it.
So with Hammerdown, I mean, I see your guys post all the time. My socials are filled up with Hammerdown, even before we sort of knew who you were, before we were thinking about sort of having a talk with you or anything like that. Yeah, so I'm going to steal one of Cam's questions. You mentioned obviously you sort of are the main organisers. So that kind of covers off what your sort of original role is with that. Is that still what you do for the festival, or have you taken on sort of more employees? How are you doing it now?
Yeah, so I'm working with a guy called Dan. So Dan Hicks has been a guy that I've known for probably 12, 13 years at this point. He was in a band called Mordecai back in the day, and they were amazing. One of my favourite bands ever. I have this is a Mordecai tattoo from their logo many moons ago, and the first ever gig I went to, my mate Mike was in a band called Strike the Heart like years ago. And he was playing a gig. He was like, "Come to this gig," and this was just as he was getting me into rock and metal music when I was like 15. So I went to his gig, and this band Mordecai happened to be headlining, and I became like a super fan of this band. I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." And I went to go see so many of their shows over the years, and then I ended up putting them on when Hammerdown became a thing in like 2016. And we worked together over the years. He ended up managing one of my bands years ago, and like we were just we became friends, which was really cool for me because it was like a proper I felt like I was getting to work quite heavily alongside one of the guys that inspired me to get into promoting, inspired me to work really hard in bands that I was doing at the time. And so when the opportunity rose for him to come on board full time for 2022, I mean, he's definitely a big part as to why 2022 was actually a success. You know, why we actually, well, I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen the videos, but like it was actually a decent thing, which was cool. And Dan's been a huge part of that. So yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so me and Dan ran it, and now we're a team. We've got a production manager called Pete Witham, who's awesome. So he does all our production. So we hire him for the shows, and he's awesome. He's got so many systems. His own kind of way of doing things, which just makes the whole thing run so smoothly. Like we weren't a minute out last year with anything. Like it was so damn smooth the whole day. So there was no like delayed sets. You know, we weren't having to cut people's songs or that. There was some techie issues on Sunday morning for the first band, but that other than that, like the whole thing ran so smooth. But and so that's kind of our team, me, Dan, and Pete, and we've got like a load of people that help us out. I could list loads of people. You know, Stephen from the Factory this year, which is the venue, the Factory Live in Worthing. Stephen's been awesome. He's done so much extra work for us that he doesn't need to do to like help us get the tickets to where they need to be and help us promote it and stuff. And he's been awesome. But yeah, primarily me and Dan do the legwork on it for sure.
Fantastic, that's awesome. I'll leave it back to you, Callum.
I think one of my burning questions was, where did you get the name Hammer Down from?
Well, that depends how disgraceful the answer is, really. It depends on your opinions of things. Oh, Callum, you're wearing a Meshuggah shirt, so please don't judge me. So the festival in its first year was called something completely different. It was actually me and my friend Bradley started it, and he came up with the name. It was called Pitch Up Festival, which was 2015, like as in like pitch up your tent and whatever, even though it wasn't a camping festival. Anyway, so and then in 2016, I was like, I want to change the name. I want something a bit more kind of rocky. I remember exactly where I was. I was walking to work. I was working at KFC at the time. I was walking to work. I was walking past the Wheat Sheaf pub near to where I lived, and a Nickelback song came on, which is called "The Hammer's Coming Down." It's a great song, and the lyrics are, "The hammer's coming down." And I was like, "Hammer Down." That sounds like a rock and metal festival. I was looking up. I was like, "Is there anything called Hammer Down?" Obviously, Hammerfest was, and still is a thing, but there was nothing called Hammer Down Festival, and I was like, I can run with that. That sounds great. So it's all thanks to Chad Kruger and the gang.
That's great.
Those pesky Nickelback fellas.
They are responsible for our conversation this evening. So be grateful.
Yeah, hey, no, I can't. I'm a Nickelback fan. I've been there, man. I used to love Nickelback a lot.
Dude, I still do. I think they're amazing. I don't care about the stick they get. Like their new album, Bangs, is a great record. Like I've listened to it. I own every one of their records on disc. One of the few bands that I have like their full discography in physical CDs. I love Nickelback. They're awesome. I think they're great.
I think I got into them. I think it was the Dark Horse album. That was
great record.
Yeah, man, I really like that album.
The very first song that ever got me into rock music, and this is that loose term rock music. But I didn't really listen to music when I was a kid. I didn't really listen to rock music. And so the only other things that I got when I was a kid were Now CDs, right? So my first ever one was like Now 62, and then Now 67 or 68 had Boulevard of Broken Dreams on it, had Wake Me Up When September Ends on it, and it had Rockstar by Nickelback, which was the first song I really fell in love with. Whatever Now CD that was, I can't remember, but yeah, that was the record. Well, that got, and it was only those two bands, Green Day and Nickelback, that I listened to for like a year until I met this fella Mike that got me to go to some gigs, and then that kind of got me into the more metal side of things. So, yeah. Brilliant. That's where the name comes from. It's Nickelback.
Go Nickelback.
Sorry.
Big shout out to Nickelback, dude. I love it.
I'm pretty sure. And Chad said he was going to be on this call. Actually, he might be on it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to play the festival now.
Dude, that would be the ultimate thing. If I could, I mean, that would be. Give me a few years. I don't think they're going to come to. Like a 300 cap venue in Worthing, if I'm completely honest. They certainly have never heard of Worthing. So, give me a few years.
We'll work up to it.
We'll work our way up to it.
Man, that's like, we had a similar peak incident recently where we saw Anvil play at a venue called the Anvil. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Oh, Anvil, that is cool.
Yeah, that's it. Anvil's completed now.
completed music.
Go back.
Yeah, I don't have to see it again now.
Was the Anvil significantly smaller than the other venues on that tour? Did they play that because it was called the Anvil and it was just a funny bit of
I think
banter?
the Anvil is smaller than any venue. Like, there's little shoebox in there.
Bar Obsidian, dude.
Oh yeah,
Well, no,
Bar
because they played like the Loft in Southampton, didn't they? Which...
And they did Cobblestones as well. So no, I think they were doing sort of a toilet tour.
Yeah, it was probably.
Yeah, cool. No, that's good. I love it when bands do that. Those intimate shows are the best. Like, you know,
it was really good.
It was really fucking good.
Big personalities in a small room, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. I've never seen Anvil. I'd like to. That'd be cool.
They're pretty fun. It was odd.
Yeah, they were so funny.
That's one of my goals. Like, I wanna book as many of the kind of classic old school bands as I can before they all call it a day. Like, that's my goal for the next couple of years, to try and book some bands. I would love to get to a scale where I could book like Diamond Head or Saxon or whatever. I know within the next 4 or 5 years I'm not going to be able to book a Maiden or whatever, but I could certainly, push towards booking some bands that have been around the block. I would love to have some real names that have been around the block and done it 100 times. I'd love to do that. It'd be so cool.
Get in touch with Anvil if they come back.
Yeah, honestly,
the guys who'll do it.
Just play anything. Yeah, they'll go for it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Doing the music, like I
think
they
do.
From what I saw, I mean, I don't know how you guys got into it, but I watched their documentary. And
it's
harrowing, dude. It's so harsh what happened.
Really?
But they still kept going because they just love it.
Because they do. Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. Like, after going through what they've been through, like, you just have to just be in it for the music. And they really just, like, shown that.
Yeah, definitely.
It was it was a fun gig as well. Like, they were all just having a great time. Yeah. Like, not an ounce of bitterness in the room about it. They were just going for it.
Nice. That would have been a cool show to go to, definitely.
Yeah, no, get them on the hammer down.
We bought tickets like immediately for that one. Like, we saw it. We're like,
Anvil.
It was like a year in advance. I think it was the tickets on sale, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think that's the first event at Anvil that I'm like, when they say it's sold out, I believe it's actually sold out.
Nice.
So this kind of goes on. What kind of bands would you like really want to have at Hammerdown? Like a big headline.
Man, dude, there are so many bands I'd like to work with. I mean, I've got like 700 different bands on my phone that I try and listen to as often as possible. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, I would love to get to a stage where I book all the bands that got me into heavy music. I say, heavy loosely, that sort of transitioned me into it. So I'd love to work like Rise Against. They were like my all-time favourites for about 5 years. I got their logo over my heart. What a band! What's your favourite record? Rise Against record?
Oh shit, man! All right, controversial, but I really like Roadside. Really like it. Don't give a fuck. I don't know. There's so many. Like, Prayer for the Refugees, obviously up there. Saviors, obviously up there.
Great song.
Basically, any of them that were on the Burnout 3 Takedown soundtrack, that'll be the one. They'll be in there. That's basically my my whole cornerstone of music is the Burnout 3 soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, so I'd love to book them. They'd be amazing. I'd love to book A Day to Remember. I'd love to get to a scale one day where I could book Avenged Sevenfold or Death Punch or whatever, something just like fucking huge. But like for over the next couple of years, like, I am determined to book Death Havana, Bury Tomorrow, Sleeps, Skin Dreads. Like, I'm starting to build contacts with a lot of these guys. Yeah, I mean, I've chatted to Benji a couple of times about it. It's just about getting enough budget together to be able to book him. I just need it to be slightly bigger than it is now, and then we're on, man. Like, for sure. Like, Benji's a great dude. I've met him, several times. Just a cool bloke, He's just a lovely fella. And I live in Wales now. Right, right. And I live in Wales now, so I bump into him occasionally, right? So, because he just bowls about doing whatever. Actually, I have a funny story about it. My band was playing a show in Brighton, like probably a decade ago now, and one of the guys in the other band was a bouncer at a show in Brighton, and Benji was playing a gig the night before, and he was just looking around whatever local gigs were on in his like super casual wear. And this dude didn't let him in, not realising who he was, because he thought he was a homeless dude, and didn't let him into this bar in Brighton. And then everybody told him after that it was Benjamin Skindred, and he was, oh shit, and he had to find him and apologise and let him back into the thing. I'm not going to give away who that was, but yeah, it's so funny, man. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, Benji's just like the coolest bloke ever. Like, such a geezer, lovely bloke. But yeah, like, I'd love to book them. I'd love to work with, for who else? I'd love to work with Shinedown. I'd love to work with The Used. I'd love to work with, I don't know, everyone. I'd love to work with everyone. Just give me a band. I want to work with them.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I want to do it. I want to book everyone.
Yeah.
I know a band.
Hey, man, I know. A band?
Let's go.
I don't know any of them, mate.
Well, it sort of brings me on to another one. With so many bands you want to book, how do you pick who you want to book? Do you check them out first, or is it people who approach you?
Yeah, that's the toughest thing in the world, because like there are so many bands that you want, and I guess the good thing in a way, I choose to look at this as a good thing. You eliminate a shitload of bands. Oh, sorry, am I allowed to swear on this? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, no holds barred.
You've already sworn multiple times, I think. But
yeah, no, I have. I definitely
have. So you're going to eliminate a load of bands right from the get-go because their touring schedules aren't going to match up. So you send them an email. Now, so we're doing this at this time anyway. Oh, we're in the studio at that time of year. We're doing whatever. So it's a good thing that a load of the bands you want to book eliminate themselves, because it means you're not straining knowing that they're all free and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to turn half of these down. So I'm never in a position where I have to turn those big headliners down, because it's only going to be a couple that are going to be available. And then for the rest of the lineup, a lot of the time, I have a rule: I don't book bands I don't like. That's very much an active thing. So every person that plays the lineup, like all of the bands, I know all the lyrics to all of their songs. And I watch all 20 sets over the course of the weekend. I'm there at the front for every single band, because that's my thing. Like, I book them because I like them. I can't go to all of these different gigs all the time. I ain't got the time. So I was booking for my own one. And hope that people
that's going to be a reason.
Right, and then I hope that people want to come along with me and make it affordable, because otherwise I'm a bit screwed, really, aren't I? But right, like that, just genuinely my mantra, right? So if I can get loads of bands that I just enjoy, all of the bands this year are absolutely cracking. Like, we've got a banging lineup, and then what we did, all the way back in 2017, we were at a stage where we started to get a bit of a name for ourselves. People started to know who we were. People were asking about the fest and whatever. So we did like a Battle of the Bands competition. We did it. It was the most bodged job setup ever. We ran it at Burgess Hill Football Club in their little bar there, right? And every week, me and my mate Langer would rock up with a shitload of speakers and stuff out the back of his car, out of a Renault Modus. Tom's Renault Modus, and me and Langer would just plug it all in and hope for the best. And we it wasn't actually it was a good concept, but the problem was there were bands coming. There's a band that played last year called South Bank Crows. They were one of the winners from the 2017 show as well, from the thing. And every week they were invited back for the semi-final and the final. Like, oh shit, we've got to travel back down to Burgess Hill again. Right, so in reality, right, that was a good concept. We had bands coming back and forth from flipping Birmingham and stuff, but after they've won their heat, and they're like, oh yeah, that means we've got to do the semi-final now, right? And then they've got to come back again. So what we did last year, for this year instead, was we did like an online competition. We got bands to send in a live video, and then me and Dan whittled them down to like a top 10, and then we got like an expert panel together. And we wanted it to be as fair as possible. So we got an expert panel together of 5 people that would then mark the bands, right? So we all got together, 5 of us. It was me, Dan, the festival's directors, Stephen from the Factory Live, Gareth Endine from ERB magazine, Emerging Rock Bands, and Ollie Simmons from The Chemists, if any of you remember The Chemists. What a band, by the way. He was also in a band called Collisions back in the day as well. I know him well from years ago. So we all got together, we had a big screen, and we just played all of those top 10 bands, their live songs that they submitted, and we all went through and rated them on 3 criteria. We had musicianship, songwriting, and stage presence. And the goal was to judge them on criteria on scorecards and get a score out of 30 times 5 judges, a score out of 150. So then we would go, okay, well, these are the 2 bands that then will complete the lineup and get the final 2 slots of the show. So that was the plan. That made it super fair as well. Yeah, it was wicked. It was great because we had so many good bands that were coming to us, and I was booking loads of bands that I wanted to book. And I was like, I don't know what we're going to do about these last 2 slots, because I just don't know how to do it. So I thought, we'd do that. and it's worked out really well. And then some of the runners-up are playing the Hammerdown warm-up show, which is this Saturday at the Green Door store in Brighton. Doors are at 6:30. It's a bloody bargain. £10 on the door, £8 in advance.
Nice.
Cheeky plug. So two of the bands that were runners up in that, so Recorder Remains and This Dying Hour, who are fucking banging bands, by the way. So they got some slots on the warm-up show as well. So ended up being 4 bands that kind of became part of the Hammerdown family this year that kind of jumped on board. Like what the winner, by the way, they're a band that coming all the way from Ireland. It's their first ever UK show. So if you're coming to Hammerdown, then you've got to come out early because they're on 2nd on the Saturday. So playing nice and early. They're called Idle Discourse. They're a rap metal band. They're literally Enter Shikari with an Irish accent. They are fucking cool.
What they called?
Like they rap in an Irish accent. It's the coolest thing. It's so brilliant, mate. They're called Idle Discourse. You've got to listen to their song Polybius or Medication. Those are just banging songs. They're all banging songs.
Yeah.
They've got an EP out called Volume 1 that dropped last year.
They're popping off at the moment as well. They're going on.
Oh, they are, dude. They're getting some big shows over in Ireland, but it's their first show over in the UK. And obviously, for any band in mainstream Europe and especially Ireland, where there isn't a lot of scene, a show in the UK is a big deal, you know. So we wanted to, we tried to give them a helping hand, getting it all organised and get it together for them. But they're wicked. They're great. You should definitely have a listen. And brilliant bands.
We'll do.
Cool, yeah. Have a look in a bit on that one. And that brings me on to a question, actually. I was going to say, so obviously you're booking the Hammerdown warm-up show and, you've got your own festival going. Outside of that, are you thinking of sort of expanding into further booking work or promotion, or are you sort of sticking with the festival?
Oh, what great timing to ask me that. Funnily enough, there's a load of stuff in the pipeline as of about yesterday. So
Nice.
yeah, we're putting on a new show towards the end of the year. We're still working on what we're going to call it. We're going to invite a load of bands that have played before, like kind of Hammerdown kind of family vibe. And it's going to be called something like that, Hammerdown Winter Warmer Show or something like that. And so we're going to put on a kind of all-day event, like 7 or 8 bands, we think, and have a big blast. Like likelihood is, just because of the ones that we've been chatting to, it's probably going to be like a fat metalcore day. That's looking like what it's going to be. And then I'm branching out into some other industries as of about yesterday that I can't discuss yet, but there's more going to go on. I think the goal for Hammerdown as a festival right now is it's making sure the festival gets bigger every year. We've confirmed 2024's venue. It's going to be huge, right? 2024 is going big, man, right? But for now, we're going to continue to do the warm-up shows, right? So that's 2 shows a year, and we're going to add on this winter show. So now we've got 3 things in the calendar. And as long as the festival's ramping up and it's growing every year, then I will have the confidence to do other shit. But the festival's got to be my focus, right? So if the festival isn't selling well, I'm not going to add more things to the calendar. That may take away from that. If the festival's going well, then other stuff is only going to add to it, not subtract from it. So that's the goal at the moment, really.
Oh, well, congratulations. That sounds fantastic. I'm just going to catch up on a few comments we've had in. So Marie said, good evening. Shanice says, good evening. And Lisa's joined as well, saying, hi, guys. Sorry I'm late. So hello to all 3 of you guys. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Hello. Lisa says, Stevie, you're actually here this time.
I know. I'm here. I am here.
Are you off to that?
Yeah, no, I'm arrived this time, mate. I've got my setup, got a cider, got my Pringles. I'm good, mate.
Your setups are way better than mine, by the way. So
I don't know. You are in a pub. That seems way better.
I am legitimately I'm in the pub on my phone with some dodgy headphones.
We are missing a bar.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Marie says, with regards to Hammerdown Festival, amazing lineup this year. So yeah, I think agreed.
Thank you. Cheers, Marie.
Looks great. And that's we did have a question in from Lisa saying, when is the festival? I believe the 29th and 30th of July this year. And that's it.
Worthing. Yeah. That's it. So it's at the Factory Live in Worthing. It's literally around the corner from the train station, so super easy access. The doors are going to be from 11:30. Bands kicking off on both days are well worth checking out, so get down early if you can. Cypher are kicking off the Saturday, so their set begins at midday. And then on Sunday we've got a band called Glass Bridges. They're both brilliant, so they're well worth checking out. Both bands start on midday on Saturday and Sunday. And we've got loads going on as soon as people arrive. We've got loads of merch vendors, loads of food and drink stands. We've got a load going on that people can be involved straight away. So
absolutely awesome. And I did see you were doing well on ticket sales. Have you still got some left, or are you sold through?
Yeah, we have some left. So we've got just under 90 left now. So we're getting there, which is cool. So I reckon it will be close to potentially a sellout. I reckon close to this year, which would be cool. It should be a PB for sales within the next couple of weeks, which would be great. So yeah, it's looking pretty decent at the moment.
Hey, nice. Congratulations once again. And we've got a few people watching who I know put on their own shows and stuff. So I think we'll probably come back to that toward the end. I know there are a few guys watching who either have put on a few shows themselves, looking to expand on that, and possibly someone looking at maybe putting on their first show sometime, maybe this year, next year, not sure yet. I guess one of the questions I think we've skipped over, Callum, if I'm not mistaken, is sort of what really inspired you to actually go out and do it and put on these shows? Because I know obviously there's a love for music, you meet these bands you like and stuff, but actually doing it is a whole other thing. I think it's a big step up. And sort of alongside that, what initial challenges did you face and did you overcome that you think you overcame particularly well?
So I think the reason I initially got into it is because I was in bands that weren't doing that well. Dude, the bands I was in were diabolical, by the way. I was in some crap bands back in the day. We had a load of fun, by the way. There's nothing against the bands. It was we were terrible. And anyway, and so I realised it's to get good. Unfortunately, was kind of pot luck. And the reason I say that is because our band, although we were awful, we're getting some mad opportunities to record records in Spain and to play festivals in Germany and stuff. So we did some cool stuff. And there were bands way more talented than us that had been around for like a decade that were still playing the same little bar on the seafront that I was playing on a fucking Thursday or whatever. So I realised that unless I was just going to stumble up on the right promoter or producer or whatever, then I probably wasn't going to make it big long term. And I couldn't not have a career in music. That's a reality. I can't not do that. So that's when I decided, okay, well, maybe I'll get into music business then. Okay, well, what music business can I do? Do I know anything about any music business? No. I know, let's risk a shitload of money on a festival. That sounds like a wise idea. It wasn't for 4 years. It's becoming a bit wiser now. Yeah, so that's why I got into it. I thought, well, look, Download makes money, Bloodstock makes money, Slam Dunk makes money, right? There's evidently an industry here where if you put hard graft in and have a little bit of business now, then you can make it regardless of the potluck side of it, which unfortunately I think is what plagues so many talented bands. They just don't get the opportunity to get big.
I do think there's I think on that point, there's a lot of people who don't realise how much, and people looking to either be an artist, be an artist and perform or put on their shows, or anything music industry. It does tend to be a little bit that forward investments. I think you tend to make a loss quite a bit before you start making a profit, and that does seem to be a thing. So keep an eye on that. I know some people are quite lucky; they might be able to get free venue hire on the first show, that kind of thing, so they can start putting a profit there. But on that point, guys, if you're going to the show, do turn up and buy the merch if you can, because that seems to be where a bit of the recoup happens. So yeah, any show you go to, that is as well. If you like that band, get their merch or buy their CD, or support them any way you can. Because if you want another generation of really big, popular, and enjoyable bands, you guys are the ones who make that happen. So
yeah, so true. And just to clarify, there's cheap merch about. Why? Because I'm live on air, and I've said this in statements before. Like, Hammerdown is never going to charge a band to vend their stuff. So I guess this is all because I've been in bands, so I get it. Like, nobody's ever going to be paying us a cut, which means your merch is going to be cheap. You can go to a big gig. Like I saw, like Queens of the Stone Age around the corner from where I'm sat now the other night at Cardiff Castle. I bet it was an amazing gig. But there were hoodies there for 110 quid, and a lot of that will be the venue and whatever cut. It just had a logo on the front. It wasn't like a cool design or anything, by the way. It was very, very basic. 110 quid is nuts. So that you can't. There will be nothing you can buy for 110 pounds of Hammerdown. Right? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you're going to be able to buy.
Package, right?
Yeah, right. So you'll be able to buy flipping pin badges or whatever from certain bands for £1. Because there's no cut. So do support the bands, and when you buy the merch, know that what you're doing is actually supporting the artists that you're choosing to support. You're not supporting my pocket. You're also not supporting the venue's pocket. I won't work with venues that are taking a cut either, so you're only ever going to be supporting the bands directly, and that will remain wherever venue we go to. So
I think to fill people out on that one, so people watching who might not be aware of sort of what goes on behind the scenes a little bit on the music industry, recently there's been a big issue with I think it's venues like the O2 venues especially, taking something like a 33% cut of merch minimum. So you got the smaller bands who have still got day jobs and they're trying to get a support slot with a bigger band so that they can, obviously, grab some fans in and see more people basically and have more people see them. And yeah, the venues are taking a cut of the merch, which on some record deals they'll also take a cut. Some managers will also take a cut. So the merch as it is, you make, it's one of the better places for profit on a business side, but they seem to be squeezing on that. So keep an eye on that one, guys, because a lot of artists will now start talking about this publicly, and I believe they have started to. There's a bit of pushback against that, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I the reason that oh, sorry, mate, go on.
No, I'd say like on the surface to like the dude on the street, like, bands are raising the prices for all their merch. You go to gigs, you see 35 quid t-shirt, 40 quid t-shirt. Like you said, hoodies for 110 quid. You're like, bands are just getting greedy, but it is just all of this other stuff going on that they even think about.
Yeah, there's too much going on in the background. I think, like you mentioned the support bands, right? I think the problem is the support bands should be at that gig that you're talking about. In a theoretical scenario where they're getting a big tour with a big band, that should be their big break where they can make some bank, not have to make a further investment to gain a couple of fans. That's not the point. The point is if a local metalcore band ops on the back of a flipping While She Sleeps tour, then that should be to be able to make some cash.
Hopefully retire from
as their big break, right?
Yeah.
To make their big break, to make cash off of that tour, not a cost as a further investment. That's just crazy, Can you hear me okay, by the way? There's a lot of noise back. I can move to another table. You can hear me? Yeah, okay, cool.
So I heard a really good story in relation to this. There was a band that were playing, I think it was Brixton, but they were the opening band, and they essentially announced that instead of selling their merch at the show, they'd have a inverted commas jumble sale before the show at a local pub, which I thought was a pretty. So we're just getting rid of some old stuff. It's not merch. It's not official. We didn't sign anything, so I did like that. I think
class. Too right.
Creative ways people push back, I think, is it's really nice to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of bands just having like a QR code on the desk, so that you buy it all online instead of at the venue.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I think any ways that you can cut a middleman out, I think artists have got to do it. There's a reality that it costs more to print T-shirts now. There's a reality that it costs more in petrol to get to the venue you're playing at. There's a reality that van hire costs more. There's a reality that there's so many costs involved for a band now. Their money is made on the merch. And I can understand, by the way, I very much understand. I'm not trying to, destroy larger venues. They had 2 years where their doors were closed. I understand why they're having to ramp up. They've got to retrieve some cash, dudes. Like, I get it to an extent, but I'm just not having that in my shows. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just not doing that.
I think you'll get a lot of support from a lot of people.
100%. Like, it's extremely refreshing.
We weren't there. Well, we weren't getting subsidies from the government like the big venues. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
The trouble is, it just passes the issue on to bands. So instead of them having, it's just going to kill bands. People aren't going to want to do it. Making anything from it.
Well, it's not even that they don't want to. It's probably they just can't afford to. Which is the real shame, right? When you can't play music and you can't put on these gigs because you literally just can't afford to do it.
Yeah, there's too much talent goes to waste. This isn't meant to be like a super deep down a podcast, but this is an important topic, right? Like, it shouldn't be that. Of course, to get successful, it is like a filter system. You're not all going to get successful. You are going to lose some really talented people at the wayside of this success, whatever you class that as. But there's far too much talent that doesn't get the attention, the coverage that it should. Bands that you listen to that were about like 10 years ago when you were a kid, and then you kind of come back to it and you're like, dude, that band I saw in that pub, how did they not get famous? Now, I understand more now about riffs and about production, and all the bands I used to watch at pubs as teenagers. You can tell, which ones are actually good and which ones are not. And some of them you go, damn, that band should have been huge. What went wrong? And you want those bands to do well. And I think if everybody plays their part in the music industry, then it could be a far more productive
more
beast,
productive place. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. I mean, I wonder if part of that is to do with obviously the complete industrialization of the pop side of things. I wonder if all the budgets from labels are going into that. I heard a story where when Robbie Williams released an album, I think album before last or something, they dropped something like 10 acts just to secure that album. I'm like, I mean, but on a pure numbers game, they're gonna make massive profits.
Yeah, they're gonna be the ones in the green.
Yeah, I get it, and it's hard to find investors as well in a time like this. So yeah, but
Yeah,
there does seem to be a bit of a shift toward the heavier side of things.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, by the way,
to go full circle, like you sort of go through the motions, and we're sort of seeing in pop culture and everything, we're going back into like the 80s rock and all of that. So all of a sudden, it's all going to come back around, and rock's going to be, the big one again. So yeah, I definitely think it's going to be.
There's waves happening, isn't there? I mean, Sleep Token, some little British band that rocked up out of nowhere 6 years ago, sold out Wembley in 10 minutes the other week.
Yeah.
Right, that's cool. Right,
yeah.
And there's plenty of, you've got the new wave of classic rock that's coming through now as well. I don't think I don't think that wave will last long enough to create the new Guns N' Roses and whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. But there's other waves going on.
I will say, I know Those Damn Crows are a really good example of one of the guys who ride out of the
yeah.
We went to see Muse. Me and Stevie went up to see Muse in Milton Keynes yesterday, and I saw at least 3 jackets with Those Damn Crows scrawled across it. I was like, nice.
I saw that.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
I see that much
Florence
everywhere.
Black as well.
Florence Black. I saw a Florence Black shirt literally last night. Actually, yeah. Had a chat with a dude in Cardiff who was in a Florence Black shirt.
I think it's happening quietly behind the scenes, but it's gonna pop. But yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna shout out GDPR. I can't say the person's name, but somebody's just bought 2 tickets to the Hammerdown warm-up show. As we've been on air just now, so I assume that's somebody that's on the stream. So thank you so much, whoever that was. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Total legends.
I get notifications with these things. It's exciting. It's nice to my day. I like that.
They always say you should never read comments and stuff. I look through fucking everything, dude. I like to know, man. I need to.
You should. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Hey, so we've had just a few comments come in. So Lisa just says thank you for the date. Marie says grab a ticket and a t-shirt. Yep, agreed. And Dan has chimed in. Hello, Dan. Good evening. I see you joining the stream. He says listening to you boys whilst making your marks. So we can't fully confirm what that is, but we have a project going on.
It's unmusic related. It's very...
yeah, we're uploading that one not to YouTube. You have also, I don't know. Anyway, so good to see you, Dan. Cheers for that, mate. Much appreciated. And we can't wait to see it. Joshua Hodge has chimed in and says, howdy guys, looking forward to it. Nice.
Oh, Josh Hodge. We know Josh very, very well. He's in one of the bands playing Hammerdown this year. So good merry evening to you, sir. Glass Bridges, opening Sunday, midday.
Nice.
Hop on early, people. Get there. Yeah, great name. Do you know what's really funny? Right, and I don't know, this may become a running theme. So any band with Glass in their name, apply for Hammerdown 2024. You get an automatic slot. Last year, the band that opened the Sunday in 2022 was called Glass Grave. This year, we've got Glass Bridges. Who is next?
Glass
item? Which glass item will be
Regional one, comma glass.
Comma glass.
Imagine. So Glass Bridges, awesome. Just going to check them out later as well. So.
Glass Bridges are great, by the way, man. They got some great singles out. Definitely well worth a listen.
Is Mirror one of them?
Yes, it is. That's right.
Perfect.
Revive is my favorite.
Right. Nice.
You got that one? You see that there?
Yeah.
That's one I check out first. Is my favorite. Mirror's the new one. Mirror's great. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Do you know what? I've got a question I just thought of for you actually. So again, I guess it's an industry kind of question, but also personal taste. From a perspective of bands that you get interested in, bands that you end up booking, how much of an effect do the music videos have, or do you purely use audio instead?
Sorry, so do you mind repeating the question?
Sure. So when you're looking at booking a band, or you just even if you just want to get into them personally, do you tend to look into music videos, or are you more an audio and
Oh yeah, no, I'm big on YouTube. Yeah. I watch music videos all the time. I think I think it's starting to become a lost art, and I think it's a mistake. I think music videos are everything for a band, and the bands that put out 4 or 5 videos per album, great, fucking awesome. The bands that only do like 1 or 2 and they don't really promote it, I think they're missing out. I'll give you an example. Crushed by Waves, they're playing Hammer Down this year. They just dropped one of the best songs I've heard this year, and I popped on the video for that before I listened to the song, but Won't Get Out Alive. And dude, that video is fantastic, great piece of work, and I was in the zone there. And I feel like that's the case with so many bands, that when they really put a bit of time and effort into their videos, it changes the dynamic of the song. And I listen to that song all the time, but I will often have it on with the video because it's just a better experience. I think music videos are becoming a lost art. I think people need to tap more into that, in my opinion.
Absolutely agree.
I think music videos are fantastic.
100%. No, it does definitely change like the landscape of the song. Like Sevenfold's new album. Like when I first heard Nobody, honestly, I wasn't even that keen on it. Didn't like it that much. Like, it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the stuff. Like I can respect it because of the guys, but like, and then if you watch it with the video and with everything they've got going on, it becomes like a whole different thing. So yeah, 100%.
So it's
agree.
an immersive experience, that video.
It's not a video. They have the full 3D.
Yeah. No, Avenged are doing something different with that record. Personally, there's a handful of songs in there I love, and the rest of it I'm a bit iffy about. Yeah, for sure. Like I think when bands do things like that, even if that's not for you, like there's a band called the band that I think do the best music videos. Fact, argue it with me, are a band called Starset. Are any of you aware of Starset?
Yeah, Black Mirror of music.
Big
dude, that band are. I mean, the whole concept behind the band. I mean, they would be the band that I would book as a dream headliner. I'd give them full freedom to do whatever fucking crazy set that they would want. Like that. That would be the band I'd go. Do whatever you've wanted to do that I haven't been able to do it here. That's what I'd say to them. And their music videos are just. You're watching a piece of flipping Hollywood cinema with the levels that they go to. Yeah. Beautiful cinematography in their videos.
Like, they bring it in live as well. It's so good. No, we saw them.
You've seen them live?
Yeah,
dude.
Man. Big fan.
It was they were on second stage downloading. Like
I was with you. I was in the same crowd as you, bro. 2018, early afternoon. That was just after the 3rd record. So they were in the kind of Tatooine.
Yeah, they were in the robes.
Tatooine,
right, the robes.
The Tatooine.
Right.
Yeah, man.
No, but it is. Right, it is though.
Yeah,
it's the sand with the goggles, right?
Yeah,
it's
the Dune.
Great.
The classic Dune.
the Dune vibes, right?
That was awesome.
And so I saw them after the 2nd record. So the 1st record was the black spacesuits, the 2nd was the white spacesuits. So I saw them, and the era of the white spacesuits. They also got the kind of orchestra players as well. So you had the lady with the violin, the lady with the cello, right? With the masks with the kind of wavy lines that would go up and down those, and they'd kind of freeze between songs.
That's actually where I discovered them. They were supporting Shinedown, I think, in London, and that's where I found. I was like, "Shit, me!" It's straight on Spotify. Like, so good.
Starset are wicked. They are a dream headliner for me because nobody's given them the shot to do that yet. I would love to be the person that gets them as a headline. Obviously, they're not big enough to headline Download or Bloodstock, but nobody else is. It's a budget thing. They require a big stage show. They're going to cost a lot to book, but I would love to have them. And we've got big venues coming up over the next 2 years anyway, so I'd love to be able to get them to get to a stage where I can put them up. Awesome.
As well, though, like for that sort of stage, they bring such a big main stage show to like a second stage. Like that's what sets them above. Like because all the other guys that are on second stage, they come out, they play the music. It sounds great, but like, where's the show? You know what I mean? Like they go all out. It's the same fans in this moment as well.
Who just turn up like that and they're in their fucking jeans and a black shirt and that's it. That's your lot. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, no. In this moment, great,
Dustin, who is the singer of Starset, so I'm going a bit of a tangent. I love this band. Dustin is he's a Harvard lecturer. Like he's fucking intelligent. He's got his own Marvel comic for Starset that runs alongside it. He's got his own books that accompany the albums. All of their the dude's a genius. Their social media, all of the social media starts with incoming transmission. Their shows aren't called gigs; they're called demonstrations, right? There's a whole like metaverse around what they do. There's so much going on.
It's so planned out.
Well, yeah, this is exactly what I love. They're amazing. They're brilliant, and they all, you know, their albums all interlink very, very well. The music videos go alongside each other. They're just awesome. They're great. Great band.
Shameless self-plug here. I think you're going to really like the next few things we got coming.
Yeah.
It's gone deep. We've gone so far down a rabbit hole, man.
Bring it on, dude. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that, man.
We're planning. I can say this now, and actually we'll announce it tonight. The day before Hammerdown, we'll be doing a release show Friday the 28th of July at Bear Cave in Bournemouth for our second EP, which is entitled Hero. So keep an eye out for that one, guys. I will get a post up soon for that one. The tickets will be going on sale within the next day or two. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, this is going to be
whole hog.
This
is sale available. Everything.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of part 2 of what we're considering to be a trilogy of projects. So Sold was the first project. We've sort of set a bit of a scene on the budget we've got. It's not massive, but I think we've done a good job of starting to create a bit of a visual universe to go alongside the audio.
What we wanted to convey, you know.
Yeah, this is going to follow on from that, and some of the characters and stories will also follow on from that first EP. And then our aims are, if we can get the right funding, get the right backing, get enough time and effort put into it, we will be doing a full-length album next, which will be the conclusion to this 3-part trilogy, which is, I think, going to be. I think it could be the one, boys. There's a few songs that we've been working on that I'm like, let's go.
Well, even now, there's a bunch of songs.
What time will the show be?
We will be having doors at 7 p.m. We're going to have 3 support acts. There'll be an acoustic act, two bands, then we'll be on, and it should all be finished. Well, we'll be going all night probably. But,
listen, I'm on the South Coast for the whole week to do some last minute promo. So look, I'll come down, man. That sick.
We'll put you on guest list, man, if you're up for it.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, dude, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll be there, man. That sounds great. I'd love to be there.
Thanks, dude.
That'd be good.
And you guys in chat, you better be there.
Yeah. We know most of these guys will be there for sure.
I've heard the names. I've heard Marie, and I've heard Dan. All these people. If you're not there, you're in trouble.
Yeah, man. Hey, let's give a quick shout out to Marie again, because we do this fairly regularly now because she does a lot with us. But I think it's because of Marie that we've got you on here in the first place. So cheers for that, Marie. Yeah. Let's talk music. Big ups.
Thank you. Yeah. Marie's working with us a lot this year, actually. So you're going to see her around at Hammerdown. She's going to be handing out some stuff. So if you see her, say hello, have a chat. Like, they're doing some great stuff over there, especially with the shows, you know, for the Cancer Trust. I think that's really important. So if you see her, support her, have a chat, you know, catch up, see what you can bring to the table for her. If you can help her out in any way, bang in.
And also, bands, make yourself known to Marie. She is still looking for acts at the moment for some unconfirmed, unnamed projects. So get in touch with Marie. You can see her in the chat. You can see where she is. Give her a little message.
See her. Point her out. Everyone.
What is this chat? I've never used Discord. What was this chat? Can I see this
chat? On Facebook.
Us nerds with dual screening. I've got a screen over here.
We've got screen here.
I'm like the guy in the chair.
This is the nerd thing, is it? I don't understand.
Yeah, you got to have a second phone open.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how lost I am right now? I don't even know who I am anymore. I've no idea what's going on. I've never used this before. My phone's really hot.
Yeah. I placed 90% pronounced with phlegm.
Yeah, right. I've not a Scooby Doo. Oh, someone's popped up. Who's that? There's some. Anywho, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Marie said, so let's go again. I'm going to go a bit further up. We've had more comments than I realised.
Hey.
So Lisa says, check out Combo Box TV. Okay, so this is going to be a new platform primarily for musicians, and also, from what I'm aware, they are also doing like this kind of, I'd say like supernatural kind of videos as well on there. So it's got an interesting blend of different video content you can check out on Combo Box TV. So a big shout out there. Give that one a check out, guys, if you haven't yet. There's a few different services on there that are worth looking at. It's nice to see independent versions of these huge establishments we currently have that might not necessarily always do the best job for us. So it's nice to see that. She also said, absolutely right. It's nice. I know YouTube can be a bit clicky on certain things, so it's you've got to be wary of it. She also said, "What are we in Star Wars now?" I believe that might be in reference to
Star Set.
Yeah, Star Set. Man. It's funny you said Tatooine because I was literally thinking in my head that because
yeah, that's what you
we actually reference that performance between us fairly often in terms of costume. We've discussed that a few times. One of the designs that we've got coming up, I did reference it for. Actually, the new EP cover is slightly
nice
from it. So. Yeah, it's good shout. Shanice has said, whenever I'm getting into a new band, I always check out any live content on YouTube. One of the most important things for me. So, yeah, guys, anyone who's watching, it's 100% worth it. I mean, we actually don't have any live content on our own channel, but we've got a great bunch of different videographers in the area who upload. So one of them worth checking out, Rock Regeneration, or on YouTube, Chinna's Rocks. Check that out if you're looking for like local level live bands, all the way up to stadium acts. This guy has it all. It's well worth checking out. And
there's plenty of banging bands at Hammerdown this year who do incredible live shows. I would definitely recommend checking out some. I mean, there's a video of Polybius, which is a song from Idle Discourse, the rap band that we're talking about. There's a live version of that. The audio's not the best, but you know, it shows what they can do. And that was the one I submitted, and I was like, this is class. This is so have a little look at that, gentlemen. Before you carry on, mate, is there time? It's a very important question. We need to go and get another beer. Is that allowed?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I'll catch up on the last few comments.
I'll take you with me. You do the comments thing. Should I mute? Can I mute? Can I mute on here?
There is a mute thing.
We can chat with the bar staff. I don't mind.
Yeah, he's muted. You're muted now. You probably still hear us.
He's muted. All right. Should we go through the last few comments?
Yeah, man. So, absolutely agree with you. By the way, there, Shanice. I think I know we tend to do it like often. We'll share live videos with each other of different performances, and I think probably hot topic at the moment in terms of live performances might be Guns N' Roses Band to Miss. So I don't know if anyone's seen that, but Glastonbury, Guns N' Roses. Oh boy!
I highly recommend, or not. What's the opposite of recommend?
Unrecommend.
I would
highly add to recommend.
It's a shame, man. Do you know what? We saw them a few years ago download, and I thought the same thing. Yeah.
It's so weird because have you ever seen Slash and Miles Kennedy? Because Slash and Miles Kennedy is like
that's a show, dude.
Really
that's
good.
Wild.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting they're streaming it all to BBC this year. I'm gonna have to catch up on some of those videos sometime because I know there's a lot of bands on there that. For me, it's like if you don't know their name, you should probably.
He's spinning. No, don't show us.
No, don't do it. That's the.
You've all just seen my pin.
That's the Hammerdown business card. That's what that.
You've all got access to Hammerdown's bank accounts, i.e., mine.
It's the fuel card.
Oh man, this isn't edited. So we had Lisa says Marie is a great lady. Agreed. She's doing great work with Rock Beats Cancer, supporting Teenage Cancer Trust. If you haven't been to one of those shows, keep an eye out for more. There will be more, I am sure of it. And Marie says, thank you guys. You're very welcome. And every time we play one of those shows, it is I don't know about you guys. The last show we played, which was Rock Beats Cancer 2023 at the Four Horsemen. I think that was my favorite gig yet, you know.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was solid.
I think so. When so we did that thing where really stadium bands do it, but we thought, why not? Everyone whips out their phone light and sways it back and forth. Now that must be pretty wild in a stadium, but in a room as small as the one we were in, it's so
with that
bright,
many people.
man.
Yeah, bright as hell. Yeah.
It was nice. I don't know about you guys. I choked up a little bit. I don't know why.
Who needs a lighting rig?
Yeah, we have one.
Right?
Yeah. You are the lighting rig.
It was like I really had no idea how many people would actually do it, and it was like everyone.
Yeah, it was the whole room.
I saw lighters in the back. I was like, oh, they can set off a fire alarm. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
Who's just bought a kebab with my bank details?
Can you imagine? Aaron's like, delivery one.
When the flight tickets come through, you're in a pickle.
Yeah. Pin reveal at 100 likes. Pin reveal.
It's not a poll.
The wacky numbers on the back.
Yeah, there's crazy three.
These crazy little digits.
Callum, I'll hand it back to you, mate.
I forgot where we were.
No, I did.
We'll go off with some more advice. Like we said, we've got people who watch, who put on shows. Well, we put on shows, to be honest, as well. But what's something you wish you could tell yourself when you first put on the show? Like, something you've learned, which is like almost vital, almost now.
Yeah, business first. I was chatting to someone about this the other day, actually. I think there's a real problem, and this isn't just a rock and metal problem, I think this is a music problem, where far too much of the music industry is run by fans, and you think that's a good thing. It isn't, because you do things with heart over head all the time, and that's how I run my first 4 festivals. I made fat losses for 4 years, which is why I had to take a break in 2019. I banked on myself, I ended up homeless. I was in 13 grand worth of debt. Seriously, like it's it's a long story, but I was in some serious shit for a long, long time. It's because I don't have a clue about business. And when after 2018, I decided, I'm going to move away. I'm going to learn about business. I went to work in a direct sales company doing, face-to-face sales, sometimes door-to-door, sometimes in shopping centres, that kind of thing, right? And I learned sales skills. I learned how to pitch somebody. I learned negotiation skills. It builds your confidence. You take rejection for a living, commission only, right? And I did that in Southampton for what was only supposed to be a year, and then obviously the pandemic happened, so I just kept doing it anyway, and kept doing that for a couple of years, and that's what's brought me to Cardiff as well. So I worked with a successful business dude up here who just teaches me business. Like, I moved in with him to live with him, to learn the skills, and how to actually run a fucking company so I can do things properly with Hammerdown. So now when it came back in 2022, we sold more tickets than we had done for the 4 previous Hammerdowns put together, which was only a couple of hundreds. Do you know what I mean? We were just shy of break even, which I think for a first year back, you consider that to be first year of business, so you expect to make a loss. We're on track to make a profit this year. And so now I'm very, very confident I know how to run a business, not just some music fan putting on a show. That's the reality. So if you want to do it properly, like, you'll make the best memories of your life doing it for fun anyway, which is what the first 4 years of it were. But the reason that 2022 was better is because it was all those same memories, all the same level of fun, all the same level of everything, only it was an actual business that was functioning, rather than me shitting myself and how the hell I'm going to pay this back on Monday morning. Right? So learn some business like that. It just do sales a bit. Seriously, it changes everything.
And it's all like that. I mean, there's a lot on YouTube as well. I know some of the guys who are looking at putting on maybe their first show, whatever. There's a lot of aspects to a show that you'll only get through experience, but there is plenty you can learn just from. I mean, I'll give a really good example for bands, especially Damien Keys, who runs or at least owns, I think it's Brighton Institute of Modern Music. So that's a guy worth checking out. That will really, I think, if you want to get into this industry, it will break the illusion of how easy the industry makes it look. And that is the intention. But if you're really serious about doing it yourself, smash that illusion into pieces, right? Like, you want to know exactly how everything works at a show so that, when you're doing it, you can smash it.
Yeah. And it's not, you don't have to go on the journey that I did. You don't have to go and work in direct sales and sacrifice your music career for a couple of years to do it. Like, COVID pandemic caused that for me anyway. It's not like I intended to do that for that long. But like, it doesn't have to kill your music career to go and learn a bit of business. You can absolutely do so on YouTube. Like, if you wanted to study alongside it, and I don't have to promote them now because I'm not working with them this year. So this is actually genuine advice. We worked with Waterbear Music College last year. They're one of our sponsors. And they run some fantastic courses. I know people that have been on their courses that are very, very successful from it. And they're alumni for the courses they run. They run a lot of courses on music business and stuff. They give a lot of bands opportunities. And their alumni includes people like Kieran Pepper, who was a drummer for The Prodigy for a number of years. Like, some big names that have done cool shit in the industry. And it's well worth putting yourself on a course if you can afford it. It's well worth watching the YouTube videos. That's the easiest thing to do. Damien Keys, definitely. But just learn something about the business side rather than just the music side. Because I was just booking with my heart rather than my head for years. And that's not good. I just booked bands that I liked, which I still do. I just do it tactically with bands that I like, they're going to sell tickets,
Yeah.
And kind of combine everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, absolutely. And I think that's really useful for the guys watching, hopefully. And
hope so. Otherwise, kick me off, mate.
Yeah.
If I'm no good to you, mate, get rid. It's fine.
All good.
What's your cat's called? What's your cat's name?
He's called Inky.
Makes sense.
Very
Black
creative.
cat, Inky.
To be fair, your other cat's got a pretty weird name for a cat, I thought.
Well, we've got Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus.
And then there's
Nice.
Harley. And then there's Ringo. But Ringo abandoned
Well,
us.
How many cats do you have?
4.5. We've got a stray.
Which side of the cat do you have?
No, we've got a stray we look after a little bit. We've got him all chipped and everything with us, but he don't come in much.
You summoned mine. Literally
What's
talked about
what's
cats.
yours called?
This one, hang on.
What's yours called?
Mine's called Toby.
Aww. Are we all cat people on this call? I actually can much prefer dogs if I'm completely honest. Sorry, Len.
Size the dog. Size got the dog.
Man,
I actually no, seriously. I was in Exeter the other night, and there's a lovely kitten there, and you're giving it a stroke and that, and it just attacks your ankle because it wants to play, and it's very painful and aggressive. But there's no need for it.
See, I don't think it wants to play. I think it just hasn't worked out where it is in the food chain yet.
No, I agree. Just don't. There's no need for it. Just stop doing it. Don't be like that, cat. It's not fair. There's no need.
If that cat was a little bit bigger, that thing would be trying to eat you.
It is trying to eat me.
If it wants to be a part, if it wants to be a part of our societal system, it needs to not be like that. If it wants a part in society, it can't be like that. Stop doing it.
I keep telling you.
If it wants
are we part of its society or is it part of ours? Because I mean, the Egyptians were part of its society, definitely.
That's very, very true.
Yeah. There's no two ways about that.
The cats made us build the pyramids. Wasn't it?
We're all wrong. Yeah.
The cats actually built them. Yeah.
The cats made us do it. They made us build the pyramids. It wasn't aliens. They wrote the inscriptions.
Have you watched on Netflix? What's it called? Love, Death and Robots. It's an animated series.
It's really good. It's like
a bunch of independent animators come together and they do different projects, and they're all standalone, sort of 6 to 20-minute episodes of animation. And one of them's about how cats took over in the future, and it's fucking great, dude. I think you'd enjoy that.
I'll check it out, man. That sounds funny, man.
Honestly, one of the best watches I've ever seen on Netflix. Definitely Love, Death and Robots. Highly recommend.
It is really, really good. Cause they're all different as well. It's like Black Mirror, but it's animators. If animators got control of Black Mirror, that's what it would be.
Yeah, and different styles of animation as well. That shit gets me off, so that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it's absolutely great. Cool. Callum, how we look at? Have you got much left? I've got a few comments in, but we'll
I just threw my mic. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I was organised. I think we sort of naturally just said most things.
Yeah, man.
What we want to do.
Well, if we can keep this running for another 10 minutes or so at least, because I've got half a pint left, that's great.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
We can go. We
can
go
do that.
With what would you say is the best advice for live performing bands at the moment? What would you look for more? Do you look more for the performance of the live, or the sound, or is it just more of a?
I think it's a great question. I don't personally feel like I'm in a position where I'm doing well enough to comment on that. I don't feel like I have the prowess to say this is what bands should be doing, but I can give advice from what I look for within my own stuff, and that would be that bands are trying to do something different, or they're really solid at what they do. I remember me and my mates all said when Wage War first came onto the metalcore scene, they aren't doing anything unique, they aren't doing anything special. They are fucking good at really solid generic metalcore, and that's why they became one of our favourite bands as a friends group, and we fucking love that band. Because Wage War were just good at the basic shit. So you've either got to be really good at your craft, at your subgenre, or do something different, like a Sleep Token, like a Evil Scarecrow, like whatever you want to look at. Bands that just do, like a Star Set, like bands that do stuff that's just cool. And you don't have to. It's not like that's not to say you have to have a gimmick, right? That shouldn't be a forced thing. If you don't have a thing, then hone your craft and your subgenre. and get really good at it.
All right, best
and
of
look at
both, you know.
Well, yeah, too right, man. If you can, which there's plenty of other cinematic rock bands. I think Starset do that quite well. They've got I don't want to call it a gimmick. They've got their thing. They've got their cinematic universe, but they also have very much honed their craft of cinematic rock. So they are a band that do both. I actually love that band. They're too good.
They are solid. Honestly, I haven't even thought about, like, they're on a bunch of my playlists, but I hadn't thought about Starset for quite a while.
Yeah, man.
They did load of
band. They fit perfectly between Muse and Linkin Park for me. They're just somewhere in between.
Well, they have been on, and I don't know where the link comes from. I don't know if it's to do with whoever's labels, but they have been on the back of every major US tour, the arena tours they do. They've been on the Death Punch tours, the Shinedown tours, the 3 Days Grace tours, the
Starset Shinedown.
Who else? The Papa Roach tour. They've been on everything. The Bad Wolves tours. They've been lower down on the bill of the Thrice. I'm pretty sure we're one above them on one of those tours as well. Like they've been with everyone. And so they've like a bit like From Ashes to New. They're very similar. They're on the tail end of every major stadium tour in the States. I don't know if you guys know or like From Ashes to New, kind of rap metal bands.
Heard of them, sure.
Oh, great, but they're kind of rap metal bands. So they've been on the back of all the 6 a.m. tours, the Shinedown tours, whatever. They've done a lot of that too. Great, fucking awesome bands.
Do you know what? I think that probably helps them a lot as well. I heard this said. I was listening to one of the sort of comedy podcasts and the sort of stand-up side of things, and I think I find it the most similar thing to a musical performance. It's probably stand-up comedy because it's all about judging the audience and that. But they talk about playing with like the best of the best is what makes them perform so much better. A lot of bands seem to be kind of scared. Like I've heard it a lot recently where bands will say, "Oh, but I'm playing after these guys, and these guys are amazing, and now what am I going to do because they're going to look good and this, that, and the other." And actually, I think that's a really good thing if they think that, but also not actually think that. Do you know what I mean?
Step up your game, like what I mean.
Exactly, right?
You've got to compete with that, so fucking compete.
That's really interesting you say that.
Motherfuckers, you have to play with the motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched an interview the other day, funnily enough, with Chad from Nickelback, and it was him revealing the bands that he hates to follow, the bands that are just that you have to be on your fucking game for. Have any of you seen that interview? It's on Loudwire.
No. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Check it out.
Guess. Give me an American hard rock band. You think? Each give me a guess. Like from started in the late '90s, been around all the 2000s, released like I don't know how many albums. Give me a hard rock band. It's not Shinedown. It's not Theory of a Dead Band. Give me another big ass American hard rock band. It's not Waterbridge.
Like Slipknot. Hard rock.
No, it's not Slipknot.
Godsmack.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not. That's a great shout. It's not Godsmack.
Yeah, type.
Yeah.
Velvet Revolver.
Not Velvet Revolver.
Oh damn it! Should be.
Please.
Is Seven Dust, and he was giving this interview on how Seven Dust was just the best band that ever supported them, and how they were just on their game all the time, and how as a headliner, like Nickelback are on those tours, you just got to be on your fucking game on that day. Like you've got to be. He was saying in this interview, he was like, you do not want to follow Seven Dust. They do. I've never seen them, so I don't know, but so you just don't want to follow this band. So yeah, I think your attitude has to be, you want to get the best support.
Yeah, man, that's why you want them. Yeah.
Right.
Really.
You want to get the
follow
best
Seven Dust. They'll make you a motherfucker,
Yeah, because if you're shit, well then you shouldn't be there in the first place, and that.
Exactly.
And that will give leverage to the support band, and that's a good thing anyway. So just do better. Like if you like, it's just owning.
Well, no, but the support's better than you do better. But yeah, I agree.
If you're feeling confident about your thing, you got to go home and work on it, dude. That's it. It's that simple. If you're worried, sort it out. Like,
yeah. Like, unless you're going out as a headline and being like, there's no way. Like, I know this is going to sound stupid, big-headed, but like, if you're going out like, there's no way anyone can upstage us, then you know you're putting on the best show you possibly can, and that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
It's like a fine line between ego and because I don't think it is ego that drives that. I think it's more you need to think you're the fucking guy when you're on stage, but when you're off, you need to be humble. But it's also we're the best at what we produce, I think, and I think most bands should be thinking that. So if they're comparing themselves to another band, you're like, yeah, but that's their act. That's their thing. If you think their thing's better, maybe you might want to tailor your work a bit more towards it.
Yeah, to it.
But really, if you're being genuinely what you're trying to create, you're going to be the best at it, and that's that.
Yeah, if you want to call it your
great
thing,
attitude, by the way.
You got to, you know.
Yeah, I actually fully back that. Yeah. I think being the man on stage, being that person, being like I'm the dude, I'm the girl right now. That is the mantra. But then off stage, being super humble, absolutely. Like, especially if you're the support band for a major tour. I mean, I watched loads of interviews with bands where they were on tour with, they're supporting, you know, Slipknot or supporting whoever, and they talk about how humble they are because they know they've fucking done it, right? They're on tour with Death Punch, and the Death Punch lads are the nicest dudes in the world because they're already there, they don't need to prove anything. And it teaches a lot of younger bands, like they're almost like a role model. They're a big brother on that tour, and they've got to, you know, be the role model to those up and coming bands as to how to act and how to be on tour. And so it's absolutely, you've got to be the absolute boss bitch or boss bloke on stage, and then off stage, or whatever it is, whatever. And then off stage, you've got to be super humble, and you've got to be, you know, the nicest dude possible.
Well, because the people who bring their ego off stage with them, you don't really want to be around them. They're fucking annoying. Yeah. So as long as you're, I mean, that's half the job anyway. And this is kind of like, I guess it's a little bit of a selfish way to think about it, but if you're not fun to be around, then no one's going to book you eventually. People just find out you're a twat eventually. They'll just get fed up with you, man. I think
there's a really
interrupt. My eyebrows appear to have bleached in the sun. Look at that. That is all eyebrow. I promise you, like, that is all eyebrow. Like, from here all the way to here is actually eyebrow.
Have to draw them on, mate.
But it doesn't look like it. What has happened there? What's going on? I just noticed there was only like a third of an eyebrow going on. What's happening? Sorry.
Which side? Is that your driving side? It is, isn't it? Right?
It is, yeah.
Check his arms, boys. Yeah, man. Hey, we've had a few comments come in, actually. I'll quickly catch up on those. So I think, where were we up to? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we are. So Marie says she's got big things planned for Rock Beats Cancer. Fantastic. We'll be around.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll be around. We'll see.
I want to see more of that. And I want to see more of these festivals. I mean, like I say, with Hammerdown obviously being the key festival we're chatting about tonight, these festivals we've heard of before we've even breached contact or anything. We see this on our feed. It's awesome. It's so good to see. I mean, as much as I love Download, right? And, you know, Reading and Leeds and all this, I don't think they'll have their time necessarily. They might, but they do seem to just book the same few bands a little bit. And they have opportunities for younger upcoming bands, but I don't think it's as many as there should be. If they're hoping for longevity past the headliners they tend to book moving on, they're not really helping too much to make the next big things, I think.
Can I make a comment about that, actually? Because I think you're bang on. I think the issue that you have, if you start with a lot of money in the bank, like a Download or whatever, right? Because the heritage of that particular site means that when you set up a Download, you've got a load of money in the bank because you have to, because you're at Donington. When you set that up, you've already booked the pinnacle. When you're starting from, like, because what was the first year? I made an Audio Slave off the top of my head. So the first couple of years were like just unbelievable lineups. You had Metallica playing early afternoon surprise sets. You had so much going on, and if you're starting a festival small, like it's just a reality that the bands like The City Is Ours, Acres, Fort Hope, Esoterica, the bands that headline for me, they aren't going to headline a 90,000 capacity open air festival in 10 years. They aren't. It's nothing against them. They're just not at that level. So for a festival of my scale, I'm obviously not a pinnacle or anywhere close to, which means that every year I'm going to naturally book different headliners, which is a good thing. It means that there's always going to be growth there. And I think when you start that big, you limit yourself very quickly, because by about 2009, Download had kind of exhausted
the pool of massive artists that they can have.
Right. Yeah. And so they pull in the occasional new one. When you get Muse in 2015, you get Biffy in 2017, you get Bring Me this year. There's still things they can do, but you are limiting. Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, the only big bands that haven't played Download that you could pull in would be Foo Fighters, Blink-182, Green Day, off the top of my head, that's probably about
You could do
it.
it on one hand.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's my list as well.
Yeah, too right. Yeah, right. No, exactly. You could do it on one hand, absolutely. I mean, probably you put Bon Jovi, maybe that'd be a good shout. But other than that, I can't think of any that haven't done it.
Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi haven't done download. I don't think they have. I can check that, but I don't think they have.
Fact check. Can we look that up?
Someone fact check. So yeah, you've kind of reached a pinnacle unless the other bands come through and get to that peak. You can't really do a lot else. You've got to book Iron Maiden again. You've got to book Ozzy again. You've got to book whoever again. You got.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Did you go to download this year?
I didn't know. I haven't got any money left. I spent it all on my fucking festival.
No, right answer. That's
true story.
Do you know what? This year, and I don't know if it was just our group or the people, and also we did obviously meet a few other groups and chat shit with a lot of people, but I mean, it seems to me the consensus was that Bring Me with a fresh breath that was needed this year. Metallica, frankly, the feedback I had and my own opinion of it was that they kind of didn't give a shit. They kind of sucked, actually. And
really?
They're meant to be like the big boys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's really sad to hear, actually.
Yeah, Lars Ulrich still can't play drums. That's an issue. So, and I don't know, they didn't seem to care that they were there. And me and Aaron, actually, we got a bit of a pet hate with especially big bands like Metallica doing this whole self-aware, sorry we're in a band, sorry we're on stage thing. I fucking hate that, man. I can't explain why. I like it if do you know what, actually I can explain why. It's the immersion. I think you get pulled out of the moment when they do that. You remember, oh, you're just a guy, actually.
It breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, but when they're on that stage, they can't just be four guys. They need to be fucking Metallica. They, you know what I mean? And they were like, oh, you know, oh, why did they put us on the stage with the good singers? Come on. You've been doing this a while. You know how to do this. You're Metallica. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a really interesting. Yeah, sure. I think Bring Me was a real. Everybody's been saying for about 5 years that Andy needs to book Bring Me. They were the band to get on board. One, because they're a British band, which means they have a bigger pull in the UK than an overseas band of a similar size or scale. There's plenty of overseas bands that are doing big stuff in other countries, but they're not going to necessarily have the pulling power of a hometown band, right? So Bring Me is the one. And other bands you've got coming through. I mean, you know, Andy did an interview the other day. I was reading it that of the other bands that he thinks could headline in the future, and he's put names in the hat like Architects. I think it's great for the British scene. And for me personally, a Brighton band's fucking cool. Let's do it. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And if there's other bands that he's kind of earwigging as headlines of the future, great. But they do need to have that pulling power. And I think the next wave is going to be like Five Finger Death Punch still having headlines.
Yeah, true.
That would be a great shout. You know, I think that.
I wonder if they still have the pull though, because they got. I mean, I quite like their sort of artistic flair that they go political and I like that. I think they're quite disestablishment. You know, I like that.
Very.
I know it did roil up a lot of people, so I don't know if they still have.
Well, they were very anti. A lot about COVID and the vaccine. Not necessarily. I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but that you know, a lot of it was quite anti what was going on at the time.
I think that might turn in their favour. Actually, now you say that.
I think so, because whatever your opinions are, there's different perspectives that are coming out and are being allowed more on social media. It was certainly a lot of censorship, regardless, you know, whatever your opinion on it is. So I think there's a lot more room to play with that stuff now. So. Bad Wolves. I mean, if you look at Tommy Vext, I mean, he's quite a right-wing dude. Agree with that or not? It's up to you. But like he was very much like the reason he split from Bad Wolves or Bad Wolves fired him was because of his opinions on things like COVID. And I think there's more of a room for people like him to play in. And I'm all for artistic freedom. I think everybody should be able to do all the fucking right-wing and left-wing stuff we want. I think that's the purpose of music.
Okay. And it comes back to that artistic integrity as well. We talked about how like a lot of art kind of goes to waste. Why shouldn't it be heard just because we don't agree with them? You know what I mean? I don't have to like it. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's actually a point as to why I think art isn't as there's less of a shock factor now. Why? Because a lot of things that would be considered to be shocking have been done before.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper and Ozzy have done some stupid shit. Led Zeppelin have done some stupid shit. You can't do that again and get the same shock factor. But the political side of things if you are a particular opinion on either side of the spectrum that's too far apart on either side, then there's a censorship to it, and that shouldn't be the way. If bands are, bands try to keep quite tame, and not do all of that to try again, agree with them or not. King 810 right over in the States. Right, I think gun laws are fucking daft over there, but they're very for gun culture. As are bands like All That Remains. They're very, very for that kind of culture, and there's a lot of censorship around what Phil Labonte and what
as well that's censored, because I mean there's clearly a market for it, you know.
There is, and there is, and if you have, and so bands are afraid to have this is getting deep, man. What's going on here? Bands are afraid to have artistic freedom on stuff that could be controversial on either side of the argument because they don't want to get shut down by it. But isn't that punk? Isn't that kind of what so many of our subgenres
burnt of all? Yeah.
Right.
I think what
do you know what I
mean? They got hold of punk and they packaged it up in this pretty little
they shipped it out
thing, and now what actually is punk isn't what they sell as punk. To be sure, I mean the Sex Pistols. They were trying to cancel the Sex Pistols. Fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? He comes out with an opinion and they're all so shocked that it's controversial. It's like,
that's cool. Crazy. Yeah.
Like, clearly, I don't know.
That is so true. That is very, very true.
It's funny, man. It's funny. I mean, we're definitely miles away from the style of punk, but definitely our lyrics. They're very much around that theory, I think, around that kind of theme. I mean, we've got a new single coming out on Friday called Ministry.
Nice.
Yeah, man, that's an interesting one. I think some of the lyrics in there are some of my favorite lyrics we've ever worked on.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a lot of them.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, man, they're cool, dude. It's a weird song. I don't think I've heard anything like it before.
No.
Nice. I'm excited for that.
Nice. But I'm hoping people will tell me what it sounds like. We never sort of try and put ourselves in a box. We're like, we're rock, we're all rock, we're metal, who cares?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. You guys are gonna have to decide because I don't know.
What about,
I'll let you know what.
Wrestle.
Say, go on, sorry.
Rottle.
Rottle.
Mock.
Speaking Star Trek.
Yeah. Exactly, there we go.
Yeah,
Callum's over there speaking Sarset, mate.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Those guys do it well. I think they're very much... again, both on back to the political side of it, like the left and the right thing. I don't think it matters for us. We wrote Ministry, for example. It's not about either side. It's about whichever one seems to have the most control and pushes it on you at any given time. I read through 1984 for the first time a few years back, and we've been writing a lot around that kind of theme.
Yeah, like
very much like 1984, Brave New World, these kind of dystopian futures that.
George Orwell's cast a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I mean, I saw a YouTube advert the other day for these. They've now built a factory where they can manufacture babies, and it's real. It's essentially stem cell baby growing, and I'm like, Brave New World, Chapter 1. There it is. Like, it's weird. It's really weird, but to me, it's a really fascinating and interesting kind of part of humanity and part of like culture that we can dig into and write about, because we can write from the perspective of whoever we want in this world we create that's based around that. So I mean, like Bedlam's written from the point of view of the craziest guy in our law. So it's nice to be able to write from that perspective, but also then we can write from another perspective of someone who experiences that character or sees it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I think that's fun. I like telling stories from that, from that route. And Ministry definitely is the next step in that story. So
good.
Looking forward to that.
I'm excited for that. I'll listen to that first thing on Friday.
Hey, don't be listening to it, because we're also going to be dropping a video for it on Friday as well.
Perfect. Do you know my opinions on that? I'll be on a video. What time's the video dropping?
Man, that was a loaded question. I wanted to talk about our video. No, I'm kidding. I think video is...
What time's the video dropping?
No idea.
What time? Yeah.
Watch the space.
7 p.m.
Excellent.
Maybe actually,
I'll be on your channel every hour.
Nice. We'll get a what's it? Fucking.
You can do the premiere thing, can't you?
Premiere, that's it. Yeah. Premiere.
Yes, you can. You can.
Get everyone in.
Premiere. Yeah, we'll do that. Because we're playing a show on the Friday, so we're not sure whether we're going to release it on the Friday or do it a little bit later or a little bit earlier.
Yeah, cool.
We're playing a show on the Friday.
crazy.
28th of July.
Fantastic. Well done,
what?
Callum.
I thought, wait, what? I thought we were releasing it on the 30th.
We're about ministry, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm retarded. It's okay. Don't mind me.
It's him, bro.
I'll start thinking about Hero. Whilst
you argue this, I've just necked 2 pints. So I'm going to run to the loo. Give me 30 seconds.
Good luck. I'll catch up with some comments in the meantime, then, guys. So we've had Marie said, I learned so much from doing, but I am over my head most of the time. It's not easy at all. So this is going to be with regards to putting on independent shows. And yeah, absolutely. But that's how you learn. I think you have to do it to learn it. It's one of those industries where, again, you can learn a lot of the business online. You can understand what key elements there are to a show, but actually going and doing it and realizing actually kind of how chaotic it can be and what can go wrong is the only way to put on a good show. You just got to practice, put in those hours. And I know Marie is, so keep it up. Lisa says she had 2.5 cats.
No, I think she's saying 2.5 cats. Like,
yeah,
2.5
men. 2.5 men.
Wait, what?
2.5 Men. That was a good show. Kind of. Charlie Sheen plays Charlie Sheen as Charlie Sheen. We have Stefanos Marangos saying heart. The love goes to you too, sir. And also Marang, which I believe is one of the bands playing this year.
I'd assume is one of the bands playing at Hammerdown. So yeah, I'd love to see you here, man.
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you. He says, excited as hell to do the festival this year, so I can't blame you. This festival looks awesome.
Jeff is indeed playing, just to clarify.
Hey, come out nowhere!
Hello. Stefano's band of outlaws are coming to play Hammerdown. Yeah, they're awesome. Like, Steph played with us. So when we were at Waterbury Music College last year, a couple of the bands that were doing courses at the college got the opportunity to play our warm-up show. That was with Bleed Again and Weller, who were 2 bands from the lineup last year. And it was on the proviso that they got, future slots. So here they are. And they're one of the bands I'm most excited for this year. I've jammed their tunes probably more than any other band that are playing this year. They're fucking awesome. They're an instrumental band. Mate, they're cool. So yeah, come down from Meringue set. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Nice, dude. Another one to check out after the stream, I think, chat.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely.
Yeah, let's see. We'll just do the whole festival lineup, I think.
Yeah.
I've got.
Just come and watch them.
Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah. Oh, if only they were all together in a convenient place.
That, by the way, that was a concern because initially we were going to do our EP release show on the Saturday, but it is plausible and possible that we might be able to get up. I mean, it's just an idea. We'll discuss it later, was it?
Yeah.
If anyone's about, I'm up for it. Like.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Okay, 2 more comments. So Marie says, R1, I booked you guys on Rock Beats Cancer mostly because you're super confident on stage, and it shows. Well, thank you very much. That's pretty awesome. That's nice.
Solid.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, man. It's great fun every time we play alongside. So thank you very much. Lisa, with regards. Oh, what was that?
Plus, for a good reason as well. Rock Beats Cancer.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, man. It's a good cause, man. That show's always fun as well. I think everyone's on board with it, and it's everyone knows why they're there, and they're there to make a good night of it. And last crowd was absolutely fantastic. My favorite crowd yet, I think. So
yeah, for sure.
Real good fun. Lisa comments saying we are living in a snowflake society now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I tend to agree a bit there. I mean, me and Stevie, we've known each other since about 4 weeks old, 3 weeks old. Yeah, man. So we've always said, and this stands now. We're quite hard to offend. We don't really get too wound up by things, and so sometimes we say things to people with, I guess, the automatic assumption they might be in the same boat, and they're not.
They're just
so
not.
If we ever offend you, that's all. No, I mean, obviously, the intent's never to offend people, but a bit of back and forth is fun, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that same idea as the if you're following someone who isn't, if you're following a support that isn't, is better, then just up your game, innit?
It's 6969.
Nice, I like that one.
Chad play. No, man, absolutely agreed. I think, Yeah, it's one of those things, and I hope we can make a bit of noise with the music that way as well, because I definitely think with our shows, our aim is to kind of inspire some people a bit, and also to, remind people that actually sometimes just have a bit of fun. Like, don't take everything so bloody serious. Like,
very, very true. I actually completely agree with that. We've got, like, if I can jump in on that stuff you're talking about the comments, Snowflake Society, all that. I actually agree with that. Like, I'm very just do what you want. I don't care what anybody does. I think it's completely irrelevant to me. Like, people talk to me about having, like, just to give you an example, people talk about having female-fronted bands and that being a genre. So it's completely fucking irrelevant. If they're good, they're good. I don't care. Yeah. Like, that's not something that you treat. Like, there should be no, I should book bands because they are a certain type of person to diversify things, and there shouldn't be it's fucking irrelevant. Whatever somebody is,
meritocracy, right?
So
and also, like, it goes against the point, right? Like,
it is so irrelevant.
I want it to be equality, so I'm only going to book bands that are this, and tick all the boxes.
Right. Don't tick boxes, book talent. Book talent,
exactly.
Don't tick boxes, and you'll be fine. That's yeah. Anybody who
talent
disagrees with that, and they've got a different. Yeah, right. Like, there's so many great bands that fit within all of the diverse different boxes. Like, if they're available, fucking book them. Great. Like, you don't need to book somebody because they are a certain thing. You don't need to do that.
Man. Damn right, man. Damn right.
All right. Cool. Well, is there anything left? Anything left questions wise, Cal?
What came first? No.
What was the one you gave me, Ali? He says, "What came first, the frozen food or the freezer?" I was like, "What do you think, Callum?" Honestly, normally he's got some pretty good ones, but obviously frozen food came first.
No.
But where would you put the frozen food? You need the freezer to put the frozen food.
Yeah. We survived the ice age.
Oh, wow. I think I said. Well, it depends what you class as a freezer. That's actually quite.
There we go.
Came down to.
I'm actually more on Callum's side here. Because people were keeping things in frozen cave stores in the Ice Age as frozen products. That isn't a freezer. It's just a dodgy freezer, cave.
Yeah.
It's just a slightly chilly little gap.
Chilly little gap.
It's still a freezer.
Exactly. So it depends on your definition of freezer. So I actually back Callum on that. I think there was actually a debate to be had.
I'm about to change your mind forever. No, because hear me out. Do you reckon they found a frozen dead animal while they were starving to death and tried to eat the frozen food before they realized they could freeze the food and store it for longer? I think you have to discover something by accident for you to then.
But if it was a frozen pea.
Right, I heard like two of you go, probably, that's true.
I think it's very difficult as a primitive species to discover that food goes bad, because you wouldn't know why it would go bad, because you don't know about germs, you don't understand about why things go wrong.
You know it smells.
You know it lasts longer, and you can't eat it, and it makes you feel sick if it's not kept cold for longer.
Nice, it's a great point.
Yeah, the aliens put this in our brains when they feel.
We should have done the podcast on this. This is far more interesting than my phone.
Don't get me started on all this shit, dude. I'll go on for days. I love it, man.
Stop. Honestly, it should be in the car for any fucking long.
Does anyone on the call like snooker?
Snooker? I play snooker.
It's like a side player.
Simon does.
It's on. Craig Steadman is beating Sean McAllister. Just a heads up.
I know.
No. It's on the lips of the nation. I'm just letting you all know.
Great stuff.
Live here.
You heard it here first.
You got it here second.
Yeah.
But I think we're all caught up with questions, unless anyone else had any more questions or anything.
No, I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah, man.
And invented some new one.
Yeah. We've a new
I'd
base.
say then, before we all call it a day, thank you so much. It's been probably the most fun chat I think I've ever had for one of these things. It's been a great laugh. I'd love to do this
I'm
again.
looking forward to meeting you, dude. I want to tell you about the theory I heard the other day.
Dude, listen. Well, I'll come down to the show in Bournemouth. I'll come down to the show in Bournemouth on the 28th.
That's the one, my guy. Yes.
I should have said it with more conviction. It would have been great. So come down to Bournemouth on the 28th of July at the Bear Cave in Bournemouth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For a really nice show with an acoustic act, 2 bands followed by a regional one. Please come. It'll be really nice.
You're hired.
yeah. Kevin. Oh, mate, we just need someone who books gigs now.
2 years. 2 years of sales pitching.
Yeah.
Well, right.
There we go. There
He
it
said
is.
he was business savvy.
So I'm going to tell you about this theory I heard the other day. So this guy reckons that this is a good one as well. This guy reckons the reason that we like gold as a species, the reason we value gold. I mean, obviously, when we found it first, we didn't know it was particularly like a rare substance on Earth. We obviously hadn't seen it before. It's shiny. There's the magpie effect, maybe. This guy reckons that when the aliens designed us from chimps, that because the aliens use gold, they use gold particulates in their atmosphere to protect them from supernova suns as they die. He reckons that we farm the gold for them. And
they're going to come back and take all the gold.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to come back
clarify
and get it.
something now, by the way. Like that's a very interesting theory. Let's be really, really clear. Gold and diamonds are fucking so common, you would not believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
They are everywhere. They are mined at very specific amounts per year to keep the value high. They are not rare substances.
Yeah, they just go to Y level 13, bro. I don't know.
I want to watch. I want to watch that. That dude sounds like an
It's-
interest. I'd love to see the inside of
it's
people's
so fun.
brains. Yeah,
I'd
love to see that.
So fun.
Have
You
any
know
of you
exactly
ever
what the
met?
guy looks like already before you've even.
I do.
before
I
you
do.
even-
Have any of you ever met a flat earther, by the way, and had like an in-depth
Yeah.
conversation? Because I
That's
have.
so good,
It's
man,
so
yeah.
much fun. I love hearing people's
It gave me
perspective.
hope,
I find it so interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting.
It's a
I
cool
asked all the
idea,
generic
man.
questions, and the dude like just rolled his eyes at everything. Like, what happens when the boat falls off the side of the thing and all that. The dude's like, no.
It's the ice barrier. There's the ice barrier, of course.
And the mud.
Obviously, the boat would never just fall off. It just doesn't end. You know what you're talking about?
Is it the mud or the ice that comes first? I never remember.
It's the mud.
I
and
don't
then there's a
know,
giant
man.
wall.
Is that-
of
is-
ice. And then
Oh my
the
God.
mud all freezes, and then there's a giant wall of ice.
But it's flat
That's
earthers.
it,
I'm-
yeah, Game
I'm
of Thrones
actually,
style, man.
Actually, a flat earther, by the way.
Oh my God.
Imagine the parallel universe where I
of the
am.
band.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine the parallel universe where the Earth actually is flat and round Earthers are the weirdos. Imagine that. Like...
Round earthers, dude.
Round earthers.
Oh, you don't want to hang out with him. I hear he's a round earther.
Is it round or is it globe heads? It's got to be globe heads, surely. Stupid globe head.
Globe heads. That sounds good. I like that. That's a good term. We'll coin that. We'll coin that term now. That's a good term.
Globeheads. That's a good name for a band. Anyone
That
watching?
is a
start
pretty good name.
man.
Right, if anyone watching it's going to think, oh, I'm going to start a band now. This is class. Call it
You can thank
Globe.
us, man. You can
There you
thank us
go.
right here, right now.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
No,
dude.
great,
Thank you.
Yeah,
great, man.
honestly,
Like, let's do this again next year. Like, fuck
Absolutely,
it.
man.
We'll-
Hey, we'd do it before any of the other shows. If you want to do it over winter or whenever you got a show coming,
Yes.
shoot us a shout, man.
Yeah,
We're always
give us
booking.
a shout.
Yeah.
suppose that means they've got to fill you a slot, doesn't it? Well,
Of course not, man.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, hypothetically, if you did, hypothetically, we could stream it from Hammerdown, and then and then
Oh, yo.
hypothetically, that could be. We could just walk around the festival, streaming,
Sound-
and get hammered
sound-
asking
that-
people these questions.
Wait,
that
we
sounds
hammered
rather
out.
dank. That sounds rather dank to me. No, it's legit though. Like, we'll catch up on the 28th of July at the Bearcase in Bournemouth.
Yeah, man.
And we'll chat,
Have a
man.
little
It'll be good to
chat.
meet you all.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
legit.
Wicked.
Hey, looking forward to it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, lads.
Alright.
Thank you.
This
Yes.
coming
All
on.
right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week. I don't know who we've got on yet. Callum will work that out. He's the main
Oh,
man now.
really? Again?
Yeah. We're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
We need to like get you on a pub crawl. Go around every week. We get you in a different pub.
Actually,
Or
that
different-
is something I
different
want to
pub.
say for the people watching. If you have any ideas of stuff that you think would be pretty cool, because we've been thinking about how we might do different things with the live streams at some point. We love this format and we're going to keep doing this forever. But sometimes we might just do a special. We might be out in town. We might be up to some shit. You never know. We might be doing something, and we might live stream then, and it could be anywhere at any given time. So if you've got any kind of cool ideas, shoot us a message. Let us know what you think, and yeah, we'll appreciate that very much. Yeah, dude. Hey, thank you very much, everyone, for
Thank
watching.
you.
Have a
That's all,
lovely rest of your
folks.
evening.
Also-
Keep safe. Keep each other safe.
Harry, plug everything you have.
Plug
what do
away.
you have?
Okay, let me get. Okay, Plugs. Oh Christ! So this Saturday, July the 1st, there is the Hammerdown Festival warm-up show officially. So doors are at 6:30 p.m. It's at the Green Door Store in Brighton. Band is start from 7 p.m. Recorder Remains are kicking it off, followed by This Dying Hour, Lost Asylum, and Bleed Again. If you want to come and hang out early, from 3:30 p.m., the Hammerdown Beer on a Beach. So that's going to be at the bottom of West Street on Brighton Beach. Come and hang out with the festival organisers, people from the Factory Live. Ask your questions about access, about merch, about anything you want to know, about bar price, whatever you want to fucking know. Come and ask questions. And then Hammerdown Festival officially kicks off from 11:30 a.m. on the 29th of July. We'll run through till 11 p.m. and the same goes on Sunday. So come down. Hammered's official lager and IPM will be available there, as well as Hammerdown official T-shirts, merch from all 20 bands, and it's going to be one hell of a weekend. 20 bands, 2 days, effectively less than £2 a band. So if you don't come, you are a fool.
Beautiful. Hey, people don't realise how good the value for money is on festivals, so do bear that in mind.
That's all right, isn't it? Yeah, that's not too shabby, is it?
Real good.
Next point.
Yeah. Pretty good.
All right. Well, cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see you again shortly. Check out Ministry on Friday.
Yes, check it out.
Hammerdown.
I forgot to plug that.
Not on your list. Damn it.
All right. Bye, everyone. Everyone wave.
Bye.